That's good. Recording in progress. All right, so,
Now, let
brought
me see.
some. This way you can go around.
Yep.
Okay, see, you all saw the agenda, it's pretty straightforward. So let's call the meeting to order at, what time is it? 4:05, 4:06. All right. The first thing on the agenda is to elect the chair.
Don't look at me. Can you do it, Zan?
I can do it again.
Okay. that's very much appreciated.
Okay, that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I don't-
Okay. All right.
I thought this committee was only gonna be committee for the roof, that's all.
Well, we have to, it's the roof and the chimney,
Right, right.
and we have to, well, we can get to that. Joyce sent me, and all of us, I guess, a copy of what's available as of February 19th of this year.
Yep.
There was 38,896.06.
With no date to be used by, correct?
Yeah, no date.
Right,
to use.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
people knew that it wasn't
Right.
by the end of the budget year or anything.
Yeah. There's that available. And in the budget in the annual town budget for Swift House, there are certain things that have to come out of it for maintenance and repairs. I thought it was going to be split between maintenance and repairs. It's 5,500 went into maintenance and only 750 into repairs. But
I
pretty
think,
much everything that needs to be done is either maintenance or
Right.
repairs, and in my mind, they're the same thing. So that's the only cushion we have, less things that Joyce does routinely, for the furnace and the
Right.
butters and what have you. Unfortunately, the prices have all gone up pretty dramatically since we got them in the fall. As far as the chimney is concerned, the low bidder that I actually would prefer to use anyway is a company called Two Brothers, Yanni Lejac, or I don't know how his name is pronounced, but I talked to him today, and he was kind enough to say he would keep his bid from us.
Wow.
Even though it means the flashing he will be doing at cost, because the cost of copper is going up so
Right.
much, like 100%.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, so he said he has a lot of customers in Kent, and he likes the town and would like to do us that favor. So his bid is, let me see. That's roofing. It's $5,330. If I have to make sure that's the one. He identified the various chimneys by size, not by location.
Uh-oh.
that's fine.
And so but he told me on the phone just before I came here that the one on the front left, as you're looking at the building from the street, is the one that's down and needs to be replaced. And that is the middle one on his bid. So I think that ends up being, what did I say, 5,000?
5,500 or something.
5,330. I forgot to ask him about the extra cost of adding a bluestone cap, which we hadn't talked about originally, but we thought would be a good idea to keep.
That chimney's not gonna be operational, right?
so if it's not operational,
So you could just put a piece of bluestone over the top and doesn't have to look
yeah,
Right.
just.
like anything.
With a small overhang, just.
Right.
Sits there, right. So that might be a little bit more, so,
Can't imagine it'd be that much.
no. Then the roof. I had also talked to Sheldon Masonry, but they were more than $3,000 higher
Wow.
originally. I think they were 8,970 and he was 5,330, so,
Mhm.
you know. The roofing people who took the chimneys down and sealed the chimney holes, that were, originally, when I talked to them, they were either the low or the mid-range cost. That was L&L Roofing, Luke Contour. He sent me a new bid, which all of his prices have gone up a lot. Yeah, 10 to 15%.
Have you gotten any metal prices?
For metal roof,
Hmm.
it's just not historic to the building.
Well, actually,
Standing.
metal
seam.
roofs are historic, actually.
Not
Not
to
back
this
to colonial
vintage.
time.
No,
Well, no, but it's still,
Yeah.
not to the vintage of the building, really, in terms of its appearance. I mean, the roof that's there now has been there for, well, it was 25 years old in
2009, wasn't
2009.
Yeah.
So it's 35 to 37, 38 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
old.
Not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. L&M, here we go. So their new prices, this proposal is, yeah, the new proposal. Oh, he's got it in two. Okay, so the lump sum quote for the front roof is 10,000. And the lump sum for the rear roof is another 8,800. So
that includes porch.
that the porch is part of the roof, it extends down. and
Because there's kind of like,
There are a couple little small
Okay.
overhangs that I'm sure will be included. That does not include any gutters or new lead flashing at the front. No, he's not doing the flashing for the chimneys.
No.
And we don't want lead flashing anyway. And gutter guards, but so we do need to walk around and talk a little bit about it. Also does not include any wood sheathing or framing repairs if necessary. Does not include removal and reinstallation of siding if necessary. We're not talking about
Right.
that. Nor does it include flashing of the chimneys, which is in the chimney bid. Not include any rear roof slopes.
So that's not included then, probably.
Huh.
I didn't notice that before. But we'll have to look and see what that involves. Anyway, so part of what we need to walk around the side. Let me see. Okay, so you have the numbers written down.
Mhm.
So what does it come to
Oh,
between
between the roof and
the
the.
roofs and the chimneys?
You're asking the wrong person.
It's
5, 3,
I'm so bad. Okay.
18 something.
Well, the roofs are already
The 1880.
the 10, the
1880.
18, it's 18.8.
And then we had 5, so 18.8.
20,380, 23,380.
24,000 something. 4,100,
Can
I come up with?
the chimney,
I was just writing the history of South Kent School. My dad was the math teacher there. They kicked him out of the math department because he couldn't understand what he was doing. And I inherited those genes. Cannot do it.
okay. 24,130.
Okay.
Okay, that's what you got.
Now, in addition to that, we have to get the carpenter back, that's his name, who did the nice job on the soffits.
Yeah, Rick Gallagher.
Okay. When we go outside, I'll show you. The thought is that we talked about before was to bring the eaves out a little bit more than they are and to put a metal drip edge on. Because the problem that has occurred in the past is the eaves are so close in
Mhm.
and with no drip edge that the water goes around and rots out either the soffits or the crown molding. So we've already replaced soffits on this side. They were completely gone and the animals were just walking through holes. But on this side, because it's a fairly large piece of crown molding and it's integral to the roof work, we thought it was made more sense to do that all at once. So we need to get the carpenter that we worked with on miscellaneous, window repairs.
Trouble is you're kind of in a bind because you've almost got to wait to see what the roofer says when he gets the shingles off.
I mean, what he said.
Well, if all of a sudden he has a bunch more repairs
Oh, yeah.
and you got to take the money out of the maintenance and the extra money you have here to do that, you may not be able to do the soffits.
Well, we've done the soffits. It's
Right.
The crown molding. The crown molding has to be done in conjunction with the roof. You can't leave a rotten piece of crown molding.
Yeah, it's terrible. You can see it from
Oh, yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
It's been terrible.
And Rick gave us some really good prices. He
Yeah.
was very, very good.
Yeah.
So I think he would be.
The thing that upsets me, just for the record here, is that this grant has been sitting there, and I went to the Board of Finance and begged them to advise me on how we go about getting funding to replace a roof that was supposed to have been replaced
Right.
according to town records in 2009.
Yep.
And the treasurer was in that meeting, and it never came up that we could have done this work last fall for,
Yeah, you could have done it 10 years ago.
15%.
I mean,
15% less, anyway, so
Yep.
that's water over the dam, but
I know.
if we don't have enough money to do what needs to be done as a group of very closely affiliated requirements, I don't know if there's any more money in the.
Well, I'm glad you put this into the record because I think, hopefully this is a lesson learned. Just,
Yeah,
we can't let it go any further.
anyway, so we know what, and we're gonna have to get other bids because it's a town requirement that the $5,000 has to get more bids. I suppose if it's okay, we could use the Sheldon masonry bid from last year, which is $9,870
Yeah.
for
Yep.
to rebuild the chimney.
we'll have to ask. 'Cause there might be a date on how,
Okay, and I'm sure if just.
You know what I'm saying?
Competitive wise, his bid is probably going up too.
I think most people are so busy, you're not
Yeah.
gonna give anybody a bid on it anyway.
The roof guy said that he would be available in 4 to 6 weeks
Wow, good,
to do one chimney.
cool.
And that's from today, which, let's say that's. Comes around once a year. A third mason, is there somebody else that you could suggest that we should talk to? Three bids.
I think maybe we need to find out if it's under 20,000, We may not need bids.
Joyce?
Joyce, are you there? She's been awful
Yes, I'm
quiet, huh?
here. Yeah, I'm here.
Is it under 20,000? We don't need a bid,
Well,
or
I,
is it 10,000?
right, you've already done your due diligence. I think you have the two bids, and since one gentleman is willing to maintain the bid from last year without the increase that everybody else is going to charge you, I think you're good to go on the chimney for sure.
Good, I love that.
I think so too. What about the roof? Since that's pushing the $18,000 number.
Yeah.
An increase. So we should probably get,
3 bids for that. That's getting
At
close.
least two,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
okay.
Sorry to bug you.
No, I'm here.
Okay. You're awful quiet today.
I'm just trying to think of who I talked to before about roofing. I went to a lot of places and a lot of people have decided to retire from roofing. It's not, something that older people.
I've got a guy sending me a gentleman's name from right over the border here. So he's supposed to stop by tomorrow and look at this while he goes and looks at another house. And he's done a bunch of houses in Kent, but I don't know his name. And he's supposed to send it to me at some point
Okay.
today, his name. So I'll get back to you as soon as I
Okay.
get that.
Okay, and if you know when he's coming, I'd love to meet you here and talk to him.
I'm probably not gonna know when he's
Yeah.
coming because I think he's coming over here to do a whole bunch of,
Yeah. We have been talking about asphalt roofing tile. That has the look of the shingled roof. It's not,
well, you're all gonna get architectural shingles now anyway, so.
yeah. And we are talking about, or when we walk around, we can discuss it, but we're talking about bringing the eaves out probably 4 or 5 inches.
All right, you said that.
Yeah, and the flashing will be done by the chimney person, so there's no flashing involved.
Except for the drip edge
The drip edge, we want a metal drip edge.
and water and ice shield
and
up
we
3
want
feet.
water and
I think
ice
that's
shields.
code.
I think I'd like 6 feet.
A lot of people are doing the whole roof now because these
Oh,
are
really?
short,
Wow.
Yeah,
but it's
I did.
gone up a fortune.
Yeah. My whole roof is done. But I still have a leak around one of the chimneys. And I
Me
can't get
too.
the guy to come. Anyway, I have to find somebody else to do that. Yeah, so. And, we would need also to do the little roofs on the
Yep.
entrances. In the front, there's a wooden gutter, but it's too small
Mhm.
for the size of the roof area. And the downspout is,
Right,
way too small. So we've been told that we really need a 5-inch wooden gutter. in the
That's-
front.
you're gonna put a wooden gutter back on?
Well, we've had several discussions. I mean,
Yeah.
If we could get rid of all the foundation plantings, which would not be, they wouldn't have been here in colonial times anyway. Get rid of them and then put, just a gravel
Gravel,
border around, just so that we wouldn't need gutters.
yeah. But
I don't know.
Gutters are not that, well, they might be a little bit up now, but they're not that terrible like you may think either.
No, it's the matter that it's the maintenance on them.
yeah,
Right.
I
the
think
problem
Johnny was
is-
the one who would climb up here and do
Right,
these gutters.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
It's a maintenance issue
Yeah,
as much as
and
anything else.
the building gets forgotten and that gets forgotten really quickly.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And there are so many large, tall trees around here that there are plenty
Yeah.
of leaf matter in the gutters.
Yep.
But the front could be a gutter or no gutter, I don't really care. But if it is a gutter, it should be.
it should be
Hawaiian
good.
wood
Yeah, yeah.
gutter.
Well, that can be done after everything's done anyway.
Okay.
As far as the roof goes, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that can be hung anytime.
Okay.
Well, we don't want a metal one hung with metal straps.
They're not using, all the new gutters go directly into the facial boards now.
Oh,
They don't
wow.
even strap up onto the shingles.
No,
Oh,
Nope.
cool.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Good.
Yep. They may have to make some different blocks to push the gutter out, just depending on the crown molding or the mold, the front facial boards.
Mhm.
But nobody put straps on roofs anymore. Those are long gone. They screw right direct through the gutter and right in. And that way they hold up with ice and everything else.
Sure, that makes a lot more sense.
So they probably have to put a new board in there for the,
They put whatever spacers they need to get the gutter to sit correct underneath the
Okay.
eave. Mhm.
and those don't rot out. Yeah.
No, they don't.
Okay. Well, let me see. Okay, so we've gone over the quotes, and we know we need, for the roof, we need at least one more. bid.
Yep, I'll work on that too.
Okay, there was one other person that if I can find it in the files here, he wasn't gonna be available last fall, but yeah, Bob's roofing doesn't, he's
Right.
retired anymore, he's retired, but he
I
suggested,
did suggest somebody.
yeah, he suggested a guy, I think, in Gaylordsville.
Yeah.
I,
I should have brought my file.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Um. No, Bob Squalia, no. Lenny Robbins from Advanced Construction in Gaylordsville.
Oh, that's right.
I know, Lenny.
You know him?
Mhm.
What do you know about him? Anything?
I haven't heard from him. I've seen him all around, but I haven't. Last time I knew him, he was in the pool business, so that's how long that was.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Pools and decks, I think, but he started working with Bob Squalia from Bob's Roofing, and Bob recommended him. And, Okay. All right, so let's walk around. Part of the issue, Ed, is that, the roof and the chimney really need to be done. But there are other issues, the exterior of the building that can't just get, forgotten about and rejected and not dealt with over time. So we have to figure out, is that another committee? Is that a ongoing effort to increase the charge of this committee? Do they
No, we don't know what it is. 'Cause
Right.
The selectmen
just bounce that,
usually
put it into the?
decide who the committee is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think right now we can go around and look, but I think right now we should work on phase one with the money you have.
Right,
And then if we all get along and work well together, we can work on the next phase. That's fine.
or,
Yeah, and just be prepared. I mean, just be, to get you up to snuff with what's going on here.
yeah,
Well, I pretty
You
much
probably
know.
are, but you do.
I know the floor's way soft back there and that's terrible. And
yeah. Well, as far as the interior
I
is
mean-
concerned, it needs some updating. It needs Wi-Fi throughout so that this is a place where you don't have to do this if somebody wants to use it and have a meeting or have some kind of,
and that isn't really a big deal anymore, Wi-Fi.
no.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
You can
be.
put those anywhere.
The back room back there
Yep.
is unusable in
Yep.
winter because it's so cold.
Yep.
We put foam insulation under the crawl space
Yeah.
in the bottom, and then I had the heating guy here to give me a price on upgrading the furnace. He said he could put a line in under here and deliver heat to the back room and the
Oh, wow.
Right.
pantry.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Not a big deal. And so that we could increase the usable space.
And if they're not gonna do anything with the upstairs, they could even run heat ducts and put them in the ceilings and drop them down. Now,
Well, there is heat upstairs and I don't know how effective it is, you could tell.
It was warm enough.
Yeah, it's
when
warm
We were
enough.
up there, but that was
Yeah,
8 or 9 years.
I mean, there
ago.
is so much talk at every meeting about how this town needs more affordable housing. And I think at some point, it would be really good.
it won't happen.
It won't happen.
I can tell you with the fire codes and stuff that you have to
Yeah,
have for a rental,
That's the problem.
you'd have to almost totally gut this whole, because it has to be all
Yep.
fire code sheetrock in between the first and second floor. All the wiring and all the plumbing would have to be updated.
Yep.
You'd have to have two exits and entrances to the upstairs, so you'd have to have another exit.
Probably up that
I mean, it-
Yeah, we had talked about that eons ago, putting some kind of a, you know, in the old days, they call it a fire escape
right,
out there. There is a back stair that goes to the upstairs, but it's interior,
right.
so.
I mean, the bedrooms have to come up to code with windows.
Yeah,
way. There are windows in.
No, I know, but to get out of the building, they have to have,
yeah.
if you're gonna bring it up to code, the egress out windows
What
now
about,
for a rental unit.
For a rental unit.
Oh,
what
it's
about,
crazy.
is that just residential rental or what about business rental? If somebody wanted to rent it as office?
That's totally different.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I think the only
So-
use that there is.
Right.
is
Are we
potential.
continuing this meeting or are we gonna?
Yeah, do you wanna-
walk around?
End the meeting, I mean, we've talked about the business side of it.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think, I don't think there's anything else we need to cover in the agenda is except to just walk around
right.
and.
Do you
uh,
agree with that, Joyce?
Discuss the,
I do.
Okay, so we're gonna adjourn the meeting then at 4:33.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Joyce. Good to hear your voice.
You too. Thank you.